The Legendary Life of the Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin.
But before we start, please take a moment to give this video a like, subscribe and hit the bell so you'll never miss these great stories.
Before Joe Exotic, there was Steve Irwin, who was known for his job working at a zoo. But other than the fact that both of them were featured on reality TV, there is a huge difference between the Tiger King and the Crocodile Hunter. Steve Irwin was born into an animal-loving family and worked as an Australian zookeeper. The animal expert loved all kinds of creatures and has never done anything to harm them. We can't exactly say that about Joe, can we? The Crocodile Hunter was born to parents who founded the Australia Zoo. It became a tourist attraction after it was featured on episodes of Irwin's hit show, The Crocodile Hunter. To this day, the zoo is still operating, and fans there to pay tribute to the late Aussie. He passed away in 2006, leaving behind 2 young children. But they're all grown up now and even followed in their father's footsteps. This is the life and legacy of the infamous Crocodile Hunter. Most people take one look at this shaggy-haired Aussie and recognize him as the legendary Crocodile Hunter. The incredible man loved animals and dedicated his entire life to wildlife conservation. The world was shocked after his untimely death in 2006. Now, years later, his family is making sure that his legacy will live on. Since he was a youngster, little Steve was fascinated by animals and loved each and every kind. If you ever watched him on TV, you can see the special connection he has with wildlife, but he had a favorite. If you know anything about Irwin, you probably know which particular species held a special place in his heart. You guessed it, crocodiles. Not only did Steve love crocodiles, but he was obsessed with the dangerous reptile. He had the proper training, which allowed him to spend time with them. Still, it was a risk each and every time. Crocodiles are extremely dangerous and known to kill humans. One evident quality about Steve is that he was fearless. Whenever he came on the screen, we would watch him jump headfirst into any dangerous situation. Sure, it's scary, but living on the edge seemed to excite Steve. However, he owes his bravery and adventurous spirit to one particular person, his animal conservationist dad, Bob Irwin. I guess his destined career may partly be genetic. As we mentioned, Bob Irwin was an animal conservationist and an esteemed herpetologist. Bob was also the founder of Australia's Queensland Reptile and Fauna Park. Thanks to his father, Steve's upbringing gave him the tools to become an expert on animals. Then, he met an amazing woman who shared the same passion as him. Steve clearly had a ton of energy and enthusiasm, pretty much all the time. It's hard to keep up with a man like that. The charming Aussie needed a lady who was totally on board with his lifestyle. He got lucky when he met Terry, she was his perfect match. They tied the knot and started to expand the fam jam. Soon after they got married, the couple welcomed 2 little ones into their animal-loving world, Bindi and Robert. Steve and Terry spent a lot of time teaching their children about their dedication to protecting nature. That's why it's not surprising that they both took on the role of professionals. When she was just a little girl, you could already see Bindi's huge personality. She was just as charming as her daddy and loved the attention. She also followed in her dad's TV footsteps and starred in her own show called Bindi the Jungle Girl. In the show, she teaches children about animals while singing and dancing, and it aired from June 2007 until October 2008. Bindi isn't the only one who got followed in her dad's footsteps. That's right, her brother Robert also had a few television stints of his own, and he loved bringing the animals to set. The beloved Irwin family was admired by many, and their fan could even go visit their zoo. The Crocodile Hunter frequently featured the Australia Zoo in Queensland in so many episodes. It didn't take long for the zoo to become a massive tourist attraction. People liked to show off and tell their friends that they were in that action-filled zoo. In 2018, the series, Crikey! It's the Irwins, came out. The show followed the family and their challenges at the zoo. The Irwins are pretty respected, thanks to the Crocodile Hunter. The zoo even features a bronze statue of the entire family. It makes for wonderful pictures. Sadly, in 2006, a freak accident took place, and their entire world came crumbling down. The tragic incident happened underwater. While he was filming a scene for a documentary, Steve got a bit too close to a huge stingray. Since he felt boxed in, the fish panicked and started stabbing his sharp point aggressively, piercing the Crocodile Hunter in the chest. He was immediately rushed to the emergency room, but the outcome was devastating. He passed away due to his injuries. After news spread of Steve Irwin's death, fans were stunned. No one could believe the Crocodile Hunter was gone. But there were two kids who were particularly affected by this fatal accident, Bindi and Robert. What were they going to do without their fearless leader? To them, he was much more than a crocodile hunter, he was their loving father. The family received immense love and support, but it didn't heal all the wounds. In one heartbreaking interview, Terry explained how she felt lonely for Steve, and that she lost her soulmate. But then, 13 years after his passing, an incredible opportunity came up to fulfill one of his biggest dreams. Other than his obsession with crocodiles, Steve Irwin also had a love for Sumatran elephants, which were a critically endangered species. With no hospital for the animals, the situation kept getting worse. What led to the demise of the species was mainly due to deforestation and stepping on live landmines. A worker at the Australian Zoo named Luke Reevely revealed, Steve dreamed of opening an elephant hospital after witnessing firsthand the issues they were facing in the wild. If anyone was going to make his dream come true, it was his dedicated family who loved the animal kingdom just as much as he does. They were ready to take on the exciting challenge. More than a decade later, Steve Irwin's family made his dream a reality. The Sumatran elephants finally got the help they desperately needed. But the Irwin family didn't stop there. After they helped make one of the crocodile hunters' dreams come true, they started to do a little digging. That's when they discovered that Steve had a full 10-year business plan that he started before his untimely death. Bindi explained that the family continues to check things off of his list. We have projects all over the planet that he was so passionate about that we've continued. She gets to keep doing what she loves while honoring her father's memory. Meanwhile, the crocodile hunter was honored with a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. He had such an immense fan base that he easily fits in among Hollywood's elite. Everyone knew who the crocodile hunter was, and they absolutely loved everything he stood for. His love for animals was nothing short of inspiring. Even though Steve tragically passed away, his family won't stop carrying on his legacy, but Steve's influences extended beyond his loving family. He will live forever through his hit Discovery Channel show, The Crocodile Hunter, where his bravery and positivity are showcased. Many people have tried to match Irwin's charisma and passion, but nobody measures up. He was definitely one of a kind. As we know, Steve Irwin has been around animals for almost his entire life. When he turned 6 years old, his father gave him a python as a birthday present. By the time he was 9, the determined kid was already handling crocodiles, with his father's supervision, of course. From a very young age, he knew what he wanted to do with his life. In 1991, Irwin was just a regular guy running the Australia Zoo. Less than 1 decade later, everyone in America knew his name. In the first ever episode of The Crocodile Hunter, Steve and his wife were on their honeymoon trapping crocodiles. That sounds like fun, but not exactly how I envisioned my honeymoon. Steve Irwin's show was getting extremely popular in the United States by 1998. The show was aired in more than 130 different countries all over the world. Not that many shows have so much global interest, but there was something about Irwin that made you want to tune in. In 2002, Irwin's popularity scored him a starring role in his only feature film, The Crocodile Hunter: Collision Course. The movie went on to win a Young Artist Award for the Best Family Feature Film, Comedy. If you haven't seen this movie, it's a great one. I highly recommend it, especially if you were a Steve Irwin fan like me. Watching Irwin play with dangerous snakes and wrestle crocodiles all day, he appears to be one of the most fearless people out there. He is known for his remarkable bravery and doesn't seem to be scared of anything. Well, as it turns out, everyone is scared of something, even the adrenaline junkie crocodile hunter. Rumor has it that Steve Irwin's biggest fear was parrots and small birds. He once revealed in an interview, "The only animals I'm not comfortable with are parrots, but I'm learning as I go. I'm getting better at them. I really am." He went on to explain that parrots always try biting him and that he has gotten some pretty bad bites over the years.